Hey everyone, this is an edited down version of our live stream this morning, so it jumps forward in time a couple times, but just want to highlight why we were looking bearish and the little clues as they were happening that were standing out as far as being important. Good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday, June 28th, 9 a.m. Eastern. We have a slightly higher open as our futures chart set 4-hour higher lows and are trying to shape up bull flags. That being said, right now the Nasdaq is showing us a little bit of relative weakness, and because of that, I am going to be keeping an eye out for bearish entries again today, just like yesterday, and I'll show you why. So on the futures chart, we have the S&P 500 looking pretty solid. 4-hour higher low off EMA 12. Resistance is not far away. We know that that resistance was hit in extended hours. So SPY would have to break both the high of yesterday, which is 391.36, and then we would have to break the high of extended hours as well, 392.94, if we were going to see that 4-hour bull flag confirmed. So when I started doing the whiteboard this morning, I looked at the S&P 500 and I had a bullish perspective on the morning. And then I got to the Nasdaq and that changed everything. So why did that change everything? Well, I look at this 4-hour chart for the Nasdaq, and in my opinion, we can very easily set a 4-hour lower high here. And so that made me a lot less bullish once I got to the Nasdaq. There's also a lot of names in the Nasdaq, like Amazon, we'll look through a few of them, but they've created a good amount of space for hourly lower highs to be the most likely result of any bull move this morning. So bears, aggressive bears, have a lot of hourly lower highs to be keeping an eye on, and the Nasdaq is just one of them. So again, just as a comparison, SPY right now with where we stand pre-market is about 0.25% from high of yesterday, and QQQ is 1% away, which is obviously a very big difference. And so what we could say is, what we've been saying recently, if we see the S&P 500 break resistance and the Nasdaq does not, we know the S&P 500 is not going far at all. We would have to see the Nasdaq follow along as a laggard to break resistance as well. And the bears obviously are hoping for a confirmed 4-hour downtrend on the Nasdaq, which would then have daily consolidation underway. And we would then be watching for a daily higher low to try and form. So names that have that potential for hourly lower highs, QQQ is one of them. So QQQ with yesterday's range, if we do not break, for me, I'm just using that high of yesterday. If we don't break 296.58, it's an hourly lower high. And bears would have to then confirm the hourly downtrend, breaking 291.29 to then be going on offense for the bears. But if we look at names like Amazon, look at Amazon's high of yesterday. It's way up there. We could see the bell ring, we could see multiple percent to the upside, and we could still set an hourly lower high as a result of that. So Amazon's looking for an hourly lower high. Netflix, anything under the high of yesterday, hourly lower high. Apple is a bit stronger overall, so I'm keeping a close eye on Apple, because if Apple, who is stronger and near its high of yesterday, or at least closer, if it can't break resistance, then that would be a tell. If one of the strongest individual tech names can't break resistance, we know QQQ bulls aren't going to be doing anything. All right. So let's look at some more individual names. And again, when the bell rings this morning, what I'm watching for first thing is, does XLF break its high of yesterday, 32.59? And of course, does SPY break its high of yesterday? And actually, XLV and IWM, they're going to test their high of yesterday first thing as well. So if all of them break their high of yesterday, it will be notable. If only some of them do and some of them don't, we know things can be a little bit more choppy and a little bit less clear. But what we can say with how we are currently positioned is all of those names are way closer to breaking their high of the day than QQQ is. And so in my opinion, the only way that we're going to get futures 4-hour bull flags with confidence today would be if we see all of our sectors at the high of the day at the same time, and the Nasdaq bulls control the morning. Anything less than that, and we are going to be scouting for the potential of the Nasdaq futures 4-hour lower high and individual names hourly lower highs compared to highs of yesterday. So we looked at some of the tech names. We had Apple. Again, Apple being one of the stronger names. If Apple can't break its high of yesterday, then that will certainly affirm my thesis of scouting bearish entries for hourly lower highs on a lot of these tech names. XBI testing 77.11 resistance, 77.28, 77.66 are the levels right behind it. So again, the 2-minute time frame, the only way the bears are going to prove anything in the short term is confirming a 2-minute downtrend. So if that low of consolidation holds, the bulls keep that confidence. QQQ has more space for a potential 2-minute lower high. Watching that Apple current low of consolidation, 140.262. If that level breaks, the double top with the high of yesterday becomes a bit more convincing. It's still XLF holding up real well. It's keeping SPY a lot stronger than QQQ short term. XLE double bottomed at the low of the day and then saw some nice further continuation. So no hourly consolidation yet. NVDA has a tightening 2-minute range, lower high versus the high of the day. Apple bulls are trying to defend the low of consolidation, 142.62. NIO is a 5-minute stair-step pattern. Apple just broke its low of consolidation. Bears really want to see Apple hit a new low of the day. So there are some clear levels to play off of in these tightening ranges. First thing, for those that want to top fish or bottom fish, are tightening 2-minute ranges. NVDA just had a short-term bear break of its tightening 2-minute range. SPY is testing support, 391.90. If that breaks, we have a little 5-minute downtrend. And that would be, again, a more convincing rejection from resistance. QQQ is creating space for the potential of a 5-minute lower high to be the result of the next bounce. If SPY holds 391.90, bulls are just fine. So it is a battle for that level here in the short term. Test in support. If it breaks, we can zoom out and look to the 15-minute, where anything above the low of the day would be a 15-minute higher low on SPY. Again, that Apple double top with the high of yesterday is getting more and more convincing. Every new low of consolidation we see, like QQQ, Apple now has a lot of space for a 5-minute lower high to be the result of the next bounce as well. Google continues as the weaker major tech name on my screen. SPY 5-minute downtrend confirmed. XBI approaching the low of the day, 76.27. So now 15-minute for some potential clarity. So now same thing for the bears. So we just had bulls saying, okay, well, S&P 500 futures can break resistance, but if the Nasdaq doesn't follow, bulls aren't going anywhere. Well, if QQQ were to break support, SPY has to break support, or the QQQ bears aren't going anywhere. But I wouldn't be surprised if QQQ holds its low of the day initially and tightens up on the 5-minute after how big that first 5-minute candle on the morning was. Little reaction to consumer confidence. We'll see if it changes anything on the short term. So QQQ is trying to shape up a 5-minute higher low versus the low of the day. And if it does, we will scout a 5-minute lower high from there. The burden is still on the bears in the short term, that's for sure. So we would have to see QQQ confirm a 5-minute downtrend. Or our lead bull of XLF would have to show us it was weakening, but XLF is still holding on real strong. So bears are taking over. So what just played out is bears played defense. There was a battle on 2-minute time frames, and now bears are attempting to go on offense. They'll have a lot more work to do on SPY. But going back to our Nasdaq chart, is our 4-hour lower high being set on the Nasdaq futures? Sure could be. And then if we break the overnight low, that would confirm the 4-hour downtrend. For now, it's a tightening 4-hour range. Apple was the biggie. That double top, unable to break, and then rolled over. Just giving some nice clues. So XLF is going to be a biggie from here. We know XLF has been lead bull. Does it confirm a 5-minute downtrend and break the low of the day or not? SPY bears are not going to see significant follow through from here if XLF holds its low of the day 32.53, which it just held by 7 pennies. So if I'm a SPY bear, if I'm any bear, I need to see XLF continue to weaken. I need to see the strongest player on Team Bull. I need to see it weaken. XLF back to the low of its consolidation. SPY and QQQ still struggling to get any kind of meaningful 5-minute bounce going. So we're watching that XLF 32.53 low of day closely. SPY and QQQ fresh lows. SPY bears will not follow through unless XLF breaks the low of the day. This XLF low of the day test is pretty darn important for me. Same as Apple's high of the day test first thing. So lots of names will be scouting 5-minute lower highs next bounce. Amazon, 5-minute stair step trying to break here. Google, same thing, 5-minute stair step from the high of the day. It's all about XLF and whether we see a tightening range and a hold of the low of the day or not. If XLF does continue its bounce, this tightening range that we will anticipate, the direction that it breaks is certainly going to have significant implications on the direction of the market midday. All right, I'll see you all in the chat room. Hope you have a good rest of your morning. 5-minute downtrend, short-term guides, hourly downtrends confirming on some bigger tech names, leading to daily consolidation, Microsoft, Amazon, Google. Keeping a close eye on XLF. XLE pulling back enough now. The more we pull back, the more possibility for a 5-minute lower high to be the result of the next bounce. Definitely, bears want one more leg down, ideally under 76 to create that space. See you in the chat room.